video, we'll be running through how to set up the Convert to PDF task for PDM Standard. Prior to configuring the task, you will need to have imported the add-in and set up a machine as a task host. So if you haven't already done so, please view our video on importing the Convert add-in and setting up a task host. To start off with, open up the administration tool and you want to log into your Vault. So either double click or right click and connect. And then once you're there, you want to expand out the task node, it's about 3/4 the way down. And within there, you'll see 2 further tasks. So you've got your task list and then your Convert. Always helpful here to just create a duplicate, and it means that you've got something to go back to as a backup. And you can do that through a right click and copy. Double click to open up that task properties, and then when it's open, it's always best practice to rename your task to something relevant, such as convert drawings to PDFs here. So the first page is the add-in page. So this is going to be the SOLIDWORKS Convert add-in, and then the second bit is going to be who is going to execute this task. So this can be an individual user, such as admin, or as a logged in user. But it's really important here to define the correct user, as if the user who's triggering this conversion task does not have permission to add files to the Vault, then executing the task as a specific user can overcome this. Last bit then is number of retries and how long to wait before failing. So how many times you want the task to run again if it fails, and how long to wait before the task fails. So moving on to the execution method. So essentially which computers will run this task. Again, important to select the appropriate option, as wherever this task is run, it will need an installation of SOLIDWORKS. So for example, if an approver is triggering this task but does not have SOLIDWORKS installed, that task isn't going to run. So remember that your computer is only going to appear here if you've set it up as a task host first. Next page then is our conversion settings. PDM Standard, the conversion is limited to the PDF only option. And then you do have some further conversion options on the right, and then some source file references. So the source file references down the bottom. So the as-built can be used if you want the drawing and its references to be exactly when that version was created, or the latest version if the drawing needs to reflect any changes made to any of the reference paths since that time. So what that means is any changes to the child within an assembly, for example, regardless of that, if that assembly has remained checked in, it's going to reflect any changes to those childs. Latter is not usually the best options for PDFs being created as part of an approval, as you want this to be an exact match for the approved drawing. There are some additional PDM options found here in the conversion options if you need a higher quality, or perhaps a header or footer is needed. So the following page is for the output files data card. So this allows you to populate the output PDF data card with values from the source files data card. So for example here, I'm going to take the revision value from the source file and I'm going to apply that to the revision of the output file. There is also an option of adding in some free text. So I'm going to use this to create something in the comment section of my output PDFs data card. The subsequent page, this is for the output file details. So this is defining where you want that output PDF to go. So by default, that brings in the source files folder location. This can just be cleared if needed, and we can edit that to a different location. So I'm going to change this to the Vault root folder path in a folder called PDF, use the source file name to name that PDF. Couple of things to note on this page. First is the error log file. So this is where the error log will go if the task fails. Usually a log file within the root of the Vault, but a different location can be defined if needed. Just be aware here that it has to be located within the Vault. It can't be external to the Vault. The second is this advanced scripting option. This shows you the code of the task, so it's written in Visual Basic, and the script can be reset here. Useful for troubleshooting, and you can define the default program it opens to run this task here. Just a quick caveat on that: if the script is modified at all, the edits need to be documented as they need to be reapplied after any resets. So the reset will pull through a brand new script from the archive, reversing or overwriting any of those edits. Reset process is actually something that's recommended after each major version upgrade, as the macro might have been modified by SOLIDWORKS to fix, previous bugs and offer new capabilities. Last couple of pages then are for our success and error notifications. So who will be notified if the task completes or fails? So usually there needs to be some caution when applying the success notifications, as you don't want to be overloading one single account with a load of PDM notifications. The admin user doesn't need to know whether 100 tasks have been successful. The option for notifying the user here is usually the most appropriate, and the content of that notification can be defined here. And the last page then is the same thing, but what if the task fails? Again, recommend that you notify the user who launched the task, and then potentially someone like admin or another administrator who'd be able to help you investigate why it failed. Once you're done, you can hit OK, and you can now apply it where it's relevant in your workflow and give it a test by right-clicking and pushing a file through a state change.